If this field could talk, I would hope it would thank us for all the love we give it. You know, we're out here all the time just, you know, taking soil tests and tissue tests and figuring out exactly what it needs, you know, exactly how much nitrogen it needs or how much potassium it needs. You know, trying to get as many core aerifications in as we can so we can get the water and the fertilizer through there. So hopefully it would thank us for all the TLC we give it. Yeah, a lot of people think it's easy to grow grass here, and you know, the truth is just about anything grows here. I mean, the weather's beautiful, you know, it never freezes in the winter, and it rarely gets over 80 in the summer. So that does make it conducive to growing just about anything. However, there's no perfect grass for here. You know, most people grow an overseeded Bermuda for a sports field in San Diego, and if you're 20 miles inland, it's a lot easier to transition. You can push your Bermuda harder in the summer because it gets warmer. Well, here it's just hard to get the Bermuda to come out, and by the time it finally wakes up in August, it's been crowded out by the rye for so long, it's tough to get it to come out. Number one, our goal is safety. You know, we've got a lot of money out here in this field. We've got to keep these guys safe. Number two is consistency and playability. And then number three is aesthetics. Well, the first two are, you know, 90% about the skin. Our bread and butter is the infield skin. That's the main part of our job. So infield skin, mound, bullpens, plate, batter's box. Most of the game is played on the dirt. You know, you want that ball to bounce across there the same way each and every time. Consistent, you want the ball to stay down. So the infield's got to give, yet it's got to hold together. So when they run around the bases, you've got cleat marks instead of foot marks. You have foot marks, next thing you know, you're going to get a bad hop. Now, half of our equipment is 8 years old, but it's still running great, and we keep it inside so it stays nice. That's the equipment that we may just use once a month. You know, our tractors, our aerifiers, our top dressers. The stuff we're using every day, we have a 3-year lease on. Every 3 years we roll it out. Those could be our three-wheelers, our triplexes, our walk-behind mowers, our gators. You know, a lot of good equipment. You know, one thing I never have an excuse on as far as if we ever have a problem is I can't blame it on the equipment and what the Padres have provided me and what Teddy's done for us. So.
I have been working with Luke the entire time I've been here, which is 9 years. I met Luke from the very get-go when they were building Petco Park, and have been working with him ever since. Service and support is the name of the game, absolutely. You know, I think everything we can do to make Luke's life easier, you know, that's our goal. We don't want him to have to think or worry about his equipment. You know, that should be an afterthought because he'll know that it's taken care of, and even if issues do come up, that we'll take care of them for him. We've
had to transform this field into a soccer field or a rugby field or get ready for a big concert like the Rolling Stones or Madonna. But getting back to baseball is what takes a lot of time. Getting your edges back the way they were, you know, in a perfect world, our edges, what we're going after, our goal is to where if you step on an edge, you're half and half and you're blindfolded, you don't feel it. If that's the case, you won't have a bad hop off the edge. Well, getting that back takes a lot of time. No doubt those special events create unique challenges, and trying to keep our goal with consistency when the team gets back, they've got that consistent field that they started on earlier in the season.
He called me on a Tuesday afternoon around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They had a concert or a special event at the field, and they didn't have a tractor, a turf tire tractor available.
These concert series they do after the game, and it's kind of a new thing teams are doing, and they pull this stage in. Well, we've got to pull it out with something that's turf friendly. So we called Teddy at AA Equipment and brought this tractor in that was stronger and had big turf tires on it.
And so I just let him know we had another customer about 15 minutes down the street, and coordinated with the other customer borrowing their turf tire tractor and bringing it down.
And basically we were able to pull the stage out without hurting our field. And had we not had that, we would have had to use something else that would have compromised the playing surface while pulling that big stage out. Most part for us, it's all preventative maintenance, and then we do spend a lot of time on our reels, making sure they're sharp, making sure we're cutting paper, making sure they're staying adjusted. But Teddy has been great over the years as far as servicing and making it easy for us. For example, we got the parts on site. You know, we got a certain amount of parts that he provided this cabinet for us that basically we can stock, you know, 1 to almost 2 years of parts, and so not have to worry about ordering it all.
We provide them with a free cabinet, and we stock the parts for them. We spread the payments out so it doesn't hit their budget too hard. And then everything they need, you know, they give us the list of parts that they use on a day-to-day basis, and we stock those parts, and then as they use them moving forward, we stop by on a monthly basis and check the cabinet and touch base with Luke, and whatever parts they need replaced, we'll replace them. But it's, you know, the parts are there. They don't have to worry about ordering anything. It's all right there, and we're checking it on a monthly basis to make sure they don't run out of anything that they need.
If our John Deere equipment would talk, I would hope it would thank us as well. It would probably say I'm a little bit too anal about it, because I do love it, but you know, it treats us good, so we give it right back.